evening, and welcome to Out for Blood, a journey through two mortals' sordid affair with the silver screen creatures of the night. I'm your co-host, Nathan.
And I'm Julie, and actually it's just a podcast where we watch a vampire movie and then chat about it.
This month we had the measurable joy of watching Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
It goes without saying, there will be spoilers and maybe some saucy language ahead, so brace yourself.
Now is a great time to pause, maybe watch the film,
Don't watch it.
then come right back to our tantalizing insights.
Don't watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna crack a beer for this one. So for those of you who don't know, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a 2012 film directed by Timur Bekmambetov.
Of Wanted fame.
Yeah, he did Wanted, and he also produced a very good movie about a woman who falls in love with a dragon. It's called I Am Dragon, and I love it. Moving on. So it's also so it's written by Seth Grahame Smith, who wrote the novel, right?
Don't look at me.
I'm pretty sure. And while he's looking that up, it starred a whole bunch of people who have no business being in this movie, including Anthony Mackie, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Dominic Cooper playing the same character he played in Dracula Untold, the guy who plays Count Adhemar in A Knight's Tale, and some guy with like abs who only looks like Abe Lincoln if you squint. Did he?
He did indeed.
He did indeed.
Which is
I was
crazy.
right.
He wrote like all the books, and then he did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He also wrote the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies movies, which like they gave him a pass for this one. Ridiculous.
Incredible.
He did Lego Batman.
Cultural icon.
Lego
Batman?
No, that was yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, he did not write. He was credited on screen for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That's my fault.
Okay.
His writing credits include Dark Shadows, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter,
Oh boy.
the Lego Batman movie, and the untitled Beetlejuice sequel that's coming up in TBA.
Stunning example of literary genius.
I mean, Lego Batman movie was fun.
I didn't really watch it. I kind of watched parts of it.
It was fine.
I like Batman. Anyway.
Should we get into the wonderful, extremely detailed, interwoven, majestically interwoven plot of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
First, I want to make a call out to the 7 people who follow us on social media. I love you guys, but you guys voted for this movie, and I'll never forget you.
It wasn't that bad. It could have been so much worse. Like, the production design was good. It at least looked like a movie, right?
There were 2 good things about this movie. I'm going to list them, and they're the only 2 good things about this movie. The first one is that you're right. The production design and the costuming was very charming. It was adequately historically accurate, and they did an interesting thing where only the vampires had historically inaccurate outfits, and it differentiated them in a really creative way. And then Dominic Cooper had those really cool Hiram Smith glasses that I absolutely loved, and that's totally period appropriate and all good in that respect. Looked on a production design side good. Did not look good in any other respect. Number 2 good thing about this movie is that Alan Tudyk had a bit part in it, and I love that man. And that's it. Those are the only good things about this movie. So now that we've got that out of the way.
Really setting me up for success
I'm
here.
Sorry.
Essentially, this movie boils down to Abraham Lincoln sees his mom get killed.
Mm-hmm. Dead mom. Classic.
Seeks out revenge. It turns out it was a vampire that killed her. Mm-hmm. So he's taken in as a vampire hunter in training.
By a guy who is a vampire but wants revenge for his dead wife.
Yep. Because
vampires killed her. But also he's gay. So it's very confusing. Yeah.
But and then Abraham goes to Illinois to become a law student for some reason. I mean, historically he did that. He
did.
But the movie offers no explanation on why all of a sudden he's decided to pursue law. He meets up with his best friend, Mr. Speed, starts hunting vampires on the side, meets Mary Todd, falls in love, has his best friend kidnapped by vampires, goes to try and save his best friend, returns, decides his axe isn't good enough, so he's going to run for president, becomes president.
God, this movie truly fails to like explain why anything is happening. Like people will just be like in rooms or in alleyways or in the streets, just like they appear there because the scene needs them to be there, and there's no explanation for like why characters want things or make the decisions they make. It's literally just like montage sequence strung to a fluff sequence, strung to an action sequence, like rinse and repeat. None of it connects. It's very strange.
It is. But Lincoln becomes president. Starts. Well, he doesn't start the Civil War, but the Civil War starts.
It's all Lincoln. It's all his fault.
The Civil War starts. He emancipations the proclamations, and then starts losing the war because the vampires don't want to lose the war.
The vampires make the racists too powerful.
Yes. And
Don't
so
you know?
he steals everyone's silver under zero pretense, and then is shipping it to Gettysburg. But
through the underground fucking railroad. That's a spoiler. It's like a double cross. It's supposed to be on a train.
But then he has a vampire fight on the train with his best friends,
and Harriet Tubman is in the movie.
Harriet Tubman is in the movie.
Inspired choices.
I don't know. It's such a tough thing to do with the Lincoln movie, because like Lincoln is such a key like portion and like touchstone point. I don't know what the right word is, but
do you mean like by like a tough thing to do as like instead a thing that never should have been done?
Yes. But like I think Lincoln's an interesting guy, right? He did a lot of things. But to like ignore and like not tread carefully around like how pivotal he was in terms of race relations within the United States is really bizarre. And I think this movie like really tiptoes some lines, crosses lines, doesn't do a great job. I don't think it was as thought out as it was.
It is not thought out. It's like, do you remember that time in like, it was like right around 2012, I think, when this movie came out, where it was like really popular to like, there's like pictures on the internet that would be like a really elaborately painted picture of like an American historical figure riding a bear with a machine gun, and there was an eagle in the background. Everybody thought that was like so funny. Just like this juxtaposition of like a fusty old like American figure doing something badass. LOL. I feel like this is just the epitome of that. It's just like one joke taken to an extreme of like taken to its full extent in a way that is so boring. It's just like not, it doesn't stretch that far.
Boring's a little harsh. I didn't think it was like completely bad.
Yeah, boring's not the right word. Exhausting is the right word, I think.
That's better.
Jesus.
But he hunts vampires, and these vampires are fucking wild.
The frustrating thing is that they don't need to be vampires, though. And it's like, you make this choice to take this historical figure and make them a vampire hunter, but then the vampires themselves are like not important. They could have been zombies. They could have been werewolves. Demons. They could have been demons. They could have been literally any kind of monster. And the story would have been exactly the same, because it's not actually like about anything.
No, it's like, here's Lincoln swinging an axe.
Swinging an axe.
Is that what y'all like? He's not even that known for axes. I don't.
No, it's so confusing.
This is a George Washington.
George Washington thing.
I'm trying to think. Did he like?
I don't know.
Is it like a peach tree?
did Abraham Lincoln also chop down a tree as a child? I'm gonna Google Abraham Lincoln axe.
I can't think of it. It doesn't feel like I know he grew up in like a log cabin, is like what I remember from grade school.
I guess his like campaign nickname was the Rail Candidate, because people called him the Rail Splitter. And he was like, he had like a lumberjack sort of persona.
Wild.
I guess that's real. I guess that's a
he
thing.
has the beard. Did he wear a lot of plaid and
He
flannel?
did grow up in like a log cabin in Illinois.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, sorry. I was Googling.
Rail splitter. Damn.
Rail splitter.
That's like... huh.
Okay.
Wild. I don't think I ever learned that in grade school. But
this movie opens with a quote from the Bible about Abraham.
Vampires are biblical. I don't know what you want.
It has nothing to do with anything in the movie.
His name is Abraham. What are you talking about? It has everything to do with what's in the... It's like a quote about leading nations. It's just some...
I mean, no, it's a quote about like having a lot of progeny, because that was like the thing about Abraham was that he was going to have like lots of sons and like repopulate the earth. That's like Abraham in the Bible. I know you don't want to talk about the Bible, but like that's what that is. So like the suggestion here is that Abraham too will bear many children and repopulate the earth with his offspring.
He had more, didn't he?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Abraham Lincoln.
We are very prepared to talk about Abraham Lincoln.
Clearly.
One of his boy dies.
His boy dies. The boy dies, and then Dominic Cooper says the boy, just like he does in Dracula Untold. And then they immediately talk about how many boys are dying on the battlefield, and it's just like PTSD.
He had like
flashbacks.
4 children, which
Good
this
for
movie
him.
just ignored.
Yeah, just ignore
It's
him.
fine. I want to get to these vampires. Let me talk about these vampires.
Talk about the vampires.
Because they're fucking wild.
They're wild.
So they can walk around in the fucking sunlight for a reason that Dominic Cooper explained to Abraham Lincoln, but I must have phased out on. But
it's
they
easy
can
to do in this movie. They
things
talk fast.
Fly by at the speed of light.
Yeah.
You like look away, and all of a sudden Abraham Lincoln's 60 years older.
You're just like, what the fuck is happening? It's like machine gun editing all the time. Every scene in this movie is a montage.
So they can walk in the sun without like anything. They can disappear, like turn invisible. Maybe teleport.
It looks like they teleport. They definitely create like a shockwave and move really fast. Yeah. It's bizarre. Should we just do the vamp score right now and get it out of the way?
Might as well.
Okay.
So vamp is for vanity, appetite, mortality, and powers. Vanity, these look like regular ass dudes. Mm-hmm. And one lady.
One
lady?
There's one. Just one.
There's one.
You only need one.
Female vampire.
Typically.
Yeah.
Check off that box. Yeah, they just look like regular people, and then they get kind of gross. And
they get those like big scary mouths.
Pointy teeth, yeah.
Lots of pointy teeth.
Dark eyes.
Even though all the wounds only have 2 teeth marks, it's fucking... the inconsistency.
There was no attention to detail here.
Yeah. They have spooky eyes.
Yeah.
They're very... That's about it. I don't know.
They're really like...
Sex is not a part of these vampires' lives.
Absolutely not. And that's a big reason why it kind of didn't feel like vampires, I guess, because they weren't sexy. I mean, the like one lady was like a little bit just like totally non sequitur sexualized, but of course she was. But yeah, I feel like they were like a response to like the sexy Twilight vampire thing in a way that was like, oh yeah, these are no homo vampires. These vampires are really scary. But it's just
a bunch of dudes biting each other's
necks.
Of
course. They're like never actually no homo. But it's almost like they're trying to say like, these are vampires for dudes. They're creepy.
I have a hard time with that because I don't even feel like they're saying they're vampires.
I didn't say it was successful.
Yeah. Vanity sucks. These vampires suck.
Bottom of the spectrum. Appetite.
They don't even fucking go into this. There's like, they definitely drink human blood, but do they need it to survive?
Do they age? Do they?
They don't age because we see Dominic Cooper at the end,
but we don't know how long he goes without like eating.
Yeah,
they just don't talk about it.
No, they definitely drink blood. There's like one vampire that Abraham kills who's like draining a bunch of people in his basement.
Yeah, the like
So
pharmacist.
that leads me to believe that they can drink dead man's blood, which is like a thing that comes up in other.
I guess so, yeah.
So that's like probably chill. I think there's a spot where Adam, the like evil vampire, who's
Oh,
the source of all vampires. Because
Oh
he's
yeah,
Adam. He's Adam. That's
It's
Count
biblical.
Adamar.
That's where it comes in. That's where that quote from the beginning. They're like, "Remember the Bible?"
His name's Adam. Adam. Adam, stop.
Adam. Jesus.
I completely. Oh no, he's like making a deal with the like racist South guy to like fight in the Civil War, and he drinks some like bourbon. I think it looks like bourbon, and then he like.
I do not remember this part at all.
That's about it. I don't think they ever eat other food.
It's just like another way this movie really is just like, these are monsters, and it doesn't matter what the mythology is, it doesn't matter what the themes are attached to this monster. It's literally just like funny to attach monster in a non sequitur way to history. It's just like super, super basic, not thought out.
Yeah.
No deeper.
I mean, they thought about the silver stuff. That was biblical too. I don't know if you remember that.
How so?
So we'll
wait, they
into
do
mortality.
Something about Jesus cursing silver.
Yeah, so the explanation offered by the movie as to why vampires are weak to silver is because Judas was paid in silver coins for betraying
You remember
Jesus.
the Bible.
And thus so silver has become a curse to the betrayers. They said it fancier, but
Jesus.
more or less silver is bad for
Silver
bad
is
people.
bad for bad people because Judas. Do you
Yes.
remember?
This is the Bible.
Okay.
But that's like really their only weakness.
That there is a point about mortality in here that I have never seen with vampires. And this kind of goes under powers and mortality. But this is a really specific rule that this one does that I've never seen. That vampires can't kill vampires.
Oh yeah.
It's like physically
I feel
impossible.
Like, that's
there's
something else, but I can't place it right now. But yeah, there's like
a force field or something.
Wild scene where
It's
Dominic Cooper tries to stab Count
Dominic Cooper
Adamar.
doing kung fu on a dirty road.
Yeah.
His wife is screaming. It's all in like pink and cyan for some reason.
Yeah, it's a really wild color choice.
They're like old timey film, right?
Cinematography, Jesus.
It's so everything glows. Everything has like this soft, like gossamer
I think
glowy
they were like
on
trying to
it.
go for this, like it kind of looks like you're looking at an old photo.
Probably
But
they
it
didn't do
looks
it well.
so bad.
It's nasty.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, it's like really bad editing, really uninspired directing, horrible acting, bad script, bad pacing.
This
Movie
is supposed
a
to be the
mess.
vamp assessment.
Sorry,
You're so off topic.
Powers.
No, we're on mortality still. We've like barely.
There's
even
nothing
talked
else to talk about.
Well, he shoots a vampire with a regular gun and it doesn't die.
Okay.
So there's that. It like he keeps the bullet in his eye, which is
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
So just keep that there. Let's see. He kills him with a silver laced axe, silver bullet, silver bayonet, silver cannonballs,
This is riveting content.
silver. I don't think they don't mention garlic. They don't mention crucifixes.
One of them dies with a silver toy sword on a
That's
necklace.
right. That's a good one. A silver
Put into a
counts.
gun.
That's
and
how
shot
guns work.
By Mary Todd. Just like purely for a scene. The scene makes no sense why it's happening, but like
The evil
because there's
vampire
like
ladies there.
yeah, but like the like woman in the story has to kill the bad woman because that's how movies work.
We got men
And
fighting
like,
men.
they're like,
we gotta get the
whole
ladies
movie-
fighting
Yeah,
ladies.
the whole movie is over. What are we missing? A girl fight. And it takes like 1 second, it's over, and they're like, okay, cool, check that shit off our list.
Yeah. We got the women in the movie.
And it doesn't matter. She puts a
We
necklace in a gun and shoots it at her, and then she gets stabbed with the chain part
Yeah.
in the
The
skull.
like knife portion hangs out of her
Like
forehead.
literally, it's so nonsense. Oh,
Yeah.
ah.
These vampires are pretty dumb.
And also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like 50 years old in this scene, or supposed to be, and she has no like age makeup on. She just looks like she's like 20. And they're like, this is fine.
They put some gray hairs up there.
Slightly. They like put some powdered sugar in their hair. They did it with Anthony Mackie too. They're just like, just dust his hair a little bit with a little bit of powder.
He'll be old.
Old. That man's 50. But then the actor who plays Abe is in like full face, like old age spot makeup that makes him look like a corpse. What's the thinking?
They had a budget. And I don't know where they spent the money.
$99 million.
I don't know where they spent that.
I don't know. I really thought this
CGI
movie
horses.
was going to be cheaper than it was because it has the attitude of a really cheap, shitty B movie, but it is like an expensive movie. Like they spent money
They went all out.
on this movie and it looks expensive and it should not. It just feels like a waste.
Should have spent more on a cinematographer.
Yeah.
And maybe
And
a better
everything
writer.
else.
Sorry,
Except for
Seth.
Alan Tudyk because he's amazing.
He was a racist senator. Calm down.
In a movie.
Back to the vamp assessment that you keep derailing from me. Powers.
Powers. I tried to get there earlier.
Vampires. We talked about it a little bit. They can
Yeah.
turn invisible. Fucking wild. I don't know why.
But not if you throw dust at them.
Well, it sticks to them.
Their weakness. They're sticky.
Which is wild because they can turn like their clothes invisible too, but not the dust that sticks to them. Nobody ever thinks about these
God,
things.
nobody. What? That's just such a pervasive problem in like all movies ever, where somebody turns invisible. They're like, also their clothes.
And
Why?
But I mean, every time they do it, where they're like, but they have to take off their clothes, it just gets like pervy.
It does. That's
Like,
true.
oh, he's back
like,
being No, it happens in Fantastic Four #1.
I was just gonna say Fantastic Four.
I win.
I was like
I called
Jessica
it.
Alba.
Yeah.
Gotta get those titties out. There's also like a dead woman with her tits out in this movie in like the first
Shit, I
10
forgot
minutes.
about that. Those are the only
Yeah,
boobies.
What?
Those were the only boobies.
Oh, boobies. Okay.
Oh no, he's like
No.
having sex with that lady at one point.
You don't see her boobies there. No, there's dead boobies in the beginning of like the first 10 minutes of the movie. There's dead boobies, and then later there's like a random nameless prostitute who's getting sexually assaulted, and then for no reason, basically, it has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah.
Like Dominic Cooper comes in and like kills the guy, but not like because he needs lunch. Like he's
He gets dinner.
and then like Abe walks out of the same doorway that the prostitute ran out of, which seems to suggest that he like walked out of a brothel, but that's not what's happening in the scene.
No,
he just
he
walked into
just walking
the
down the
alleyway for no reason. He's
Met up
like,
with his
"You're
buddy
a
Dominic
vampire?"
Cooper.
And he's like, "Yes." And he's like, "You betrayed me. You were my brother."
I mean, it's not that good of a scene. You can't give
It's
it
a
that kind of weight.
That was too much weight.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
gave too good of a
You can't
performance.
compare it to the climax of
God.
Revenge of the Sith. It's not that good. So invisibility, they're strong. One vampire throws a vampire. One vampire throws a horse.
Okay, we gotta talk about the horse scene. Is that a derailment? Should we talk about the horse scene later?
Can we circle
Okay,
back to the horse
let's circle
scene?
back
because
to
we're
the
almost
horse
done with the
scene.
vamp assessment.
It's a very titillating little sneak
they
peek
suck
into later in
blood.
the episode.
I literally can't fucking think of anything else they do. They like turn invisible. They move sort of fast.
They're
stretchy kind of, but that's just the bad
they
CGI.
all can do kung fu.
They all kung fu's a strong word. It's like gun kata without the guns. Like they were like, we need like cool Matrix style action scenes. There's like literally a spot where like Abraham Lincoln does like a 360 spin off of a wall.
Yeah, there's so
With
much
his
spinning.
axe.
There's
It's-
so much bonkers physics. There's like
It
a
is wild.
scene where he's like spinning his axe around, and the like arc of his axe turns into like the swipe of an ink pen or something.
I liked that. I was a fan. They were trying something.
It's
Risk
like
it,
you can
turn the
just tell
biscuit.
that everybody's constantly floating around on wires and just like doing the craziest shit they can think of, and then it's shot in like a super fast then super slow then super fast then super slow kind of way that just like I don't get it. It's cool, I think.
They were trying to be cool. It didn't work. Yeah. I can't think of any more powers. I don't want to talk about these dumb vampires anymore. These are like literally the stupidest vampires.
They're the worst.
They're racist.
Yeah, this
They're
movie's racist. Did we mention that?
they're weak. it's just bad. It's bad vampires. These would be like the weakest vampires we have so far. I think like
in terms of powers, like if you pit these guys against other vampires, their heads come off so easy.
Yeah, they have black blood. I don't know if we mentioned that.
I think that comes from that same compulsion where they're like, this has to be cool, this has to be for guys, where they're like, the blood is black, it's so cool, it's so edgy.
I want red blood.
Yeah. What were we watching?
I'm a guy.
That had like orange blood? Oh, it was Army of Darkness.
Don't.
Gross.
Stop.
Don't watch that movie. That movie sucks.
You got some hot opinions up in here. God, weak ass vampires. I want to talk about this horse scene. Oh my god.
Did we like build it up enough? Should we talk about something else first so that people have to wait?
No, I just want to talk about the fucking
We're just gonna
horses,
get into it. Okay.
I don't want to talk about anything else.
Okay.
To set the scene, Abraham Lincoln finally has permission from Dominic Cooper to like avenge his mother and kill.
Why does he
John
need permission?
Because he's his what's the word? His apprentice.
Lover?
Apprentice.
Lover?
Apostle.
Apostle?
He gets permission. It was part of the like agreement that they like signed up for. But he gets permission, so he like stalks him to like the old shipping yard.
Also,
thing.
You called him John C. Riley, but
I said discount John C. Riley.
Okay,
I said it.
I just want people to know that's not actually John C. Riley because that would have improved.
Sort of looks like John C. Riley.
Would have improved this movie by a lot to have John C. Riley.
I know you love John C. Riley.
He's a treasure.
Okay. Yes, John C. Riley, treasure.
American treasure.
But he like meets him at the like shipping yard thing.
So these boats.
It's on a river.
So these boats.
There's boats, and then
just clarifying.
I don't know why you needed to clarify that point, but just next to the shipping yard is about 1 billion horses.
It's like not an exaggeration. There is truly like 1 million. It's like a stream of horses that are running across a big, empty, dusty plain.
They're not running yet. They're standing.
They're standing.
And Abraham chases the vampire into the horses, which causes a stampede.
Right. But there's like truly like 1 billion horses.
An endless supply of horses.
To the west, to the east, to the north, to the south is an endless sea of horses.
So many horses. And they're like running
CGI.
with the horses, jumping across the horses' backs.
I can't even
throwing horses.
Begin to describe. Like
landing on the thrown horses.
They curb stomp some of the horses.
Oh, that's right.
With their elbows. They like do wrestling moves on the horses. The horses are all like atrocious rubbery CGI sometimes, and then like every once in a while there's like a flash where there's like maybe a real horse. I don't know. I don't know how they shot this scene. This scene
I'm sure it's like 1,000,000,000% green screen.
It's just like the most baffling thing, and then they like truly like pick up a horse by its hoof and like swing it around and throw it at
one
Abraham.
Single hoof too. I don't think the horse would stay attached.
No.
I think he would have lost that hoof.
God.
But he lands on the horse that gets thrown. It's like crazy.
Yeah, the horse hits him and then he's on the horse.
And
then he slides down to the side of the horse like Legolas, like true Legolas physics, and scoops his axe off the ground. Somehow
gets
and
right back in that fight.
How long would you say this scene is? Like
too long,
like, but like a very long
minutes.
time. So like not even like, is it like spatially a lot of horses, but like in duration there's a lot of horses because the horses never stop stampeding. They're like going full speed ahead and there's a never ending supply of horses. Oh, and then there's a cliff.
There is a cliff.
And then
he
they
throws the vampire off the cliff,
falling off the cliff, and then all of a sudden we're in a totally new location. There's no more horses.
But then he gets to kill his vampire
guy,
murderer,
and avenge his mother at the like halfway point of the movie.
Yeah, and then he became president. Things are looking up for Mr. Lincoln.
And then everybody in the movie, quote unquote, ages like 20 years, 30 years.
I don't know.
And the only person who looks older is some random nameless actor who nobody has ever heard of.
Mr. Speed?
No, I'm just talking about Abe. He's just like a nobody.
I thought Mr. Speed looked sort of older.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He just had a beard.
Should have given Mary a beard. She would have looked older.
They should have. Is Mr. Speed like a real person?
Yes, he is.
And he's really named Mr. Speed?
Yeah, well,
Did
he
he
has
also-
a first name.
Did he also Tokyo drift a carriage into a southern plantation home?
Yes.
Because that happens in this movie.
They have that one on film.
The only reason it Tokyo drifts too, the reason it happens is because there's blood all over the floor, so it's slippery.
Yep. It was very good.
Did Lincoln also have like a black BFF?
I don't know. I don't even know how to Google that.
Yeah, this movie has a white savior thing.
Googling
That's
that.
okay, that's fine.
He did. Joshua Fry Speed was his close friend.
Joshua Fry
I don't
Speed.
remember what the.
Joshy boy.
Yeah.
Joshua.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this movie? Other than just like it's surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be.
It's just like not as
It's not good.
cheap as you expected. It's a really exhausting experience. It's like not the most racist movie I've ever seen, but it's racist, like for sure. It definitely is like the South wasn't the problem in the Civil War. Yeah, it was the vampires. They were the real problem.
Some pretty
yeah,
parts of history
the casting of Harriet Tubman is a little questionable. The fact that Harriet Tubman is in the movie seems a little
probably just ignored it.
Disrespectful, especially since she's like a bit part that's just there to like help the plot. God. The like white savior complex that's happening where like Abe Lincoln has to save his black friend like 70 times.
It's like twice.
It was so many times.
It was a lot of
so
times.
many times.
It's like when they're kids, when they're teenagers, when they're teenagers 2 days later, when they're adults.
When he gets kidnapped, when he's on the train.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, we didn't talk about the fact that they got Linkin Park.
Oh my God!
I don't even know what the term is, but the Linkin Park song is the closing credit song. Because it's Abraham Lincoln, Linkin Park.
Inspired. I lied at the beginning when I said that there was only 2 good things about this movie. The third good thing about this movie is that some just brilliant individual, just a shining star, was like, what if we got Linkin Park to do the music in our Abe Lincoln movie? What a gem. I want to shake that person's hand.
Maybe it was Linkin Park's idea.
God, I hope so.
They were like just big fans.
Amazing.
It was amazing. Also because I didn't know it going into it and they like started playing, I was like, oh, those guitar riffs kind of sound like Linkin Park. And then they started singing, I was like, that sounds like Chester from Linkin Park. I think this is Linkin Park. But I was really doubting myself. I was like, I don't know if I can recognize Linkin Park anymore.
Amazing. Abraham Lincoln Park.
The scroll hit.
Amazing.
Linkin Park.
Incredible.
Check it out.
A+. Watch this movie.
No.
Don't watch this movie.
Watch it for the Linkin Park. Maybe watch the Linkin Park music video that was on the bonus features.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure. But
we'll link to it if we find it.
Watch that.
And
because it pretty much has the entire movie in there.
Yeah.
So.
When we say watch the movie, we mean don't watch the movie. Definitively 100%. This movie sucks ass.
Yeah. If you like really love vampires like me, you should probably watch it just to like.
You say that a lot, and
I but
feel like there's nobody who like is willing to like excuse things the way you are in vampire movies.
But like,
I think you're alone in this.
I'm not trying to excuse the things this movie does, but I want to be able to say that I know vampires. And like,
but
you know some party somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, Nathan's the vampire guy. Has he watched Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?"
Basically, nothing interesting about vampires in this.
How
movie.
Embarrassing would it be for me to say I haven't seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter when I'm the
not,
vampire guy?
Literally not embarrassing.
I would die of embarrassment.
Okay. Well, it's a fun little glimpse into your psyche. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch it. Just watch anything else.
Watch a different vampire movie for me.
Yeah. Go watch a different vampire movie and then recommend it to us. Yeah. If it's good. Because we're kind of sick of watching bad ones.
Yeah, we need a good one for next one, which speaking of, I don't even know what we're watching next.
I don't.
time.
We don't have it planned. So if you have suggestions, let us know.
And keep an eye on our social media. We'll probably update that in the next week or so.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a plan.
Yep. Anyway, it looks like dawn approaches.
We got to think of a better sign off than that.
That's a good sign off. What are you talking about?
That's fine. Okay. That's going to be all for this episode. Thanks for listening. I've been Nathan.
And I'm Julie.
Remember to stay out of the sun.